First of all, we need the part to be open, and then we need to make a new milling operation. We will use an external cam part, and then I'll prompt us to pick a coordinate system or stock block. For the coordinate system, we can just pick any face and I'll pick the best coordinate system for the part itself. And then for the stroke, we just pick the part itself and then define the offset for the block itself. It will be shaped like this. This is the offset I made for this part. For cutting, we need to define tools for cutting the part itself. By going to tool and then part tool table, we can add or edit new pre-made tools. For the first tool, we will use an end mill with a dimension of this dimension. The second one with this dimension, and for the third one, because of the spherical shape of the part itself, we will use a ball nose end mill with this dimension. To start the cut, we need to add a new milling operation, 3D milling, and then first of all we will make a cut for this part. We need to define the part itself, the working area itself. We already define it. We need to pick a tool for the cutting. For the first cut, we will use the first tool. And for the levels, because we want only want this part first, of course for the upper level we will choose 0, where the cutting tool will be right here, and the lower level should be to this point, where the tool will stop at the point right here. For technology, we will use contour. For many of our operation, we will use contour as our technologically cutting tool. The second operation should be for this shape right here. So we will use the same milling operation, 3D milling. We need to define our working area. Which will be here and here. And the tool we will use is the same one. because if we choose a different one, we need to change the tool, and it'll be a hassle and more time. For the level, since we already cut to this spot, we can pick this as the upper level. And the lower level should be right here. And of course the technology, as I said before, will be contour for many of our operation for 3D milling. Now we are going to drill the holes. We're going to drill holes for the third operation, because to make this part, you'll need a small cutting tool. Of course, we will use 3D milling. Sorry, not 3D milling. We'll use drilling, and then we will pick the bottom face for the working area by clicking this new and then clicking the bottom face as the working area. As you can see, SolidCam has made automatically sequence the holes, which holes should be drilled first. And then of course for the tool, since this is a 10mm diameter hole, we will use a 10mm drill bit. The first tool. And for the levels, it will automatically choose it for us. For the fourth operation, we will be cutting this part here. So of course we need first to find the working area. We'll define it as here, and then the two circles here. Because of this small gap here, we will use a really small diameter tool, which is tool number 2. For levels, for the upper level, I'm going to pick a higher level because I'm afraid that the tool itself will bump into this cut here. But of course, for the level, we will choose this spot. For technology, as I said before, contouring, and then we just need to add this operation. And then finally, we're going to make this vertical shape. We need to go to 3D milling again, add a milling operation, 3D milling, and define the working area. But because of the shape itself, we're not going to define the working area, but work on a selected face, which will be this. And then of course the tool itself is tool number 3. For the level, Of course, after picking the tool, we need to choose the upper level and then lower level for this part. For upper level, it can be this part right here, which is 17.5. And then for the lower level, we can reduce that by minusing this radius here, which is 17.5 plus this 17.5, which is going to be 35. And of course, for the technology, it'll be contour. Finally, for the second part, the second sphere, we will use the same operation. But of course, we need to first define the working area, which is the selected face. And of course, the tool will be the ball nose. Which is that one. And then the levels should go from 0, and then the lower level should be 2 up here. Sorry, up here. Technology of course should be contour, and we just add the operation. And of course, we need the outside shape for it. For the outside shape, we would use the milling operation profile. And of course, we need to define the working area first. Just that. Because it's the outside shape, we need the biggest tool we have, which is this, number 1. The levels going to down here. And of course, for the technology, we would use left. We're going to check our operation if it's right. We need to calculate it all. Oh, my mistake. For the spherical shape, we want a better finish for it. So we need to have them overlap, and then will offset to be smaller, because the step down or the flap is how many turns the mill will do to make the part itself. So the smaller it is, the faster or the more circle it will make to make the part. And we need to calculate it again. I think I made another mistake. I think it's too small. We'll calculate it again. After changing it, I'll just save it, and I'll change this to okay to 0.05 00. Okay, and then we'll recalculate. I'll just pause the recording and then pause back. It's done. And this is the final part and the final operation, full operation of our setup. I made a mistake. And this is the final operation. And this is my explanation. Thank you.